I shifted my attention back to the early days of the musical talent in the Billy Branham Pentecostal Tabernacle. If there were any details about the entertainment in the Prophet's early church, I wanted to find it. The best place to start was in the newspaper archive, so I started sifting through the rolls and rolls of microfiche at the Jeffersonville Public Library. After the deed to the tabernacle was signed in 1936, the church was advertised in the newspapers as the Pentecostal Tabernacle. Continuing Davis's strategy, the church was deeply involved with music. The Prophet's first church had a stringed band, a choir, an orchestra, and an advertised song service with many local recognized singers. Some of these singers were frequently involved with the music of other churches, which sounded very much like the Prophet invited popular local singers to attract bigger crowds. One family in the Prophet's church, the Broy family, had a band. This musical family is where the Prophet would meet his second wife, Meta Broy. Though the Prophet would later condemn churches with choirs, the Billy Branham Pentecostal Tabernacle had a choir that was advertised in the local newspaper. This choir was not only active in the church, it was active in competition settings. In fact, the choir was a prize-winning musical group. They were so good that they competed in contests and won. The Pentecostal Tabernacle invited other musical groups to perform with them at the church, such as the Henryville Orchestra, and the Pentecostal Tabernacle musicians performed at other churches, sharing their musical talent with other Christians. When Ralph Rader opened his new Holiness Tabernacle, the Prophet preached, and his musical band performed to celebrate. I began to wonder, when and why did it stop? The Prophet came from a musical family. Even the early photos of his ministry that I had in my collection made it evident that music was a part of his early life. When did the Billy Branham Pentecostal Tabernacle lose its love for music? When did the Prophet start condemning other churches instead of participating with them? When did he stop using stringed instruments in his church? It was time to focus my research on Hope Brumbach, the Prophet's first wife. From the Prophet's own account, it was her death that signified a turning point in his life. Who was Hope Brumbach? How did she meet the Prophet? What was she doing in Roy E. Davis's Pentecostal church? More importantly, why did her mother not want the Prophet to take her around those Pentecostals? Was it because of the religion or something else?